Hello everyone and welcome to the Uber Awesome Metal Vlog. I'm Nick and today we're going to be talking about doom metal. Now, doom is an interesting genre of metal. I enjoy it a lot personally. It's derived from Black Sabbath, that sort of like really slow, drudgy, droney kind of sound. And a lot of bands basically just took what they did in the 70s and kind of expanded on it and made it even more ridiculous and drastic. Another thing I find really interesting about doom metal is that it's slow. And you don't get that a lot in most different genres of metal unless there's some sort of a break. Like, the entirety of doom is that it's just really slow, drones on, sort of drags its feet in comparison to other genres. Some highly recommended listening for doom metal would be Candlemass, Epicus Doomicus Metallicus, the Pentagram album Relentless, St. Vitus's album SL, and an album from a band called Witchfinder General, which is called Death Penalty. Now, doom as a subgenre is pretty interesting on its own, but the sub-subgenres, in my opinion, are really cool for this. For example, you have drone, with bands like Sun being kind of the meat and potatoes of this one. Sludge, which is kind of a marriage of hardcore and doom metal, which sounds like a really interesting combination. But some of the Melvins work, some of Black Flag's work, and then a few other bands such as I Hate God, Iron Monkey, Crowbar, and Acid Bath all do sludge. Likewise, you have a sub-subgenre called stoner metal, which is a little more up-tempo than sludge. And I know that sounds kind of weird given the name of the genre, but it's also pretty cool. Some bands to definitely check out from this sub-subgenre are High on Fire, Down, and Electric Wizard. I'm going to be going into a little more detail, kind of like my other videos. First on instrumentation, and then talking about one of my favorite bands and why you should like them too. So, first off, we'll start with drums, since they're kind of the base of the whole song. Drums in straight up doom are, once again, really slow, really droning, kind of typical kick snare beats sometimes, but at like 80, 90 beats per minute and slower, just really, really dragging on. In other cases, like with Sun, it'll just be long cymbal rolls through the entire song. Won't even be a drum beat necessarily. And this is just to add atmosphere and ambiance. Again, it depends on the band, but it could be a variety of things for percussion and drums. Guitar, a common tuning in doom and stoner metal especially is C standard. I like this tuning a lot personally too, because it gives you kind of like a sludgier sound to begin with for some reason, and it's just really good, you know, as a standard tuning, lets you riff around just like you're playing an E on a normal guitar, but it's just got that really dirty, down-tuned sound to it while still playing like a normal guitar, and I think that's neat. For bass, also usually tuned to C, can vary, but that's kind of the standard. Bass will do a lot of low-note drones, depending on the genre and the band, of course, or, you know, just kind of complement the guitar like other bass parts would in more conventional genres like rock and other kind of 4/4, 120 BPM genres like that. Vocals can vary all over the place just like they can with any genre in any band, but in doom I notice a lot of falsetto, a lot of high vocals, but also some really low and really gritty vocals that just kind of also drone on. It's kind of a recurring theme, as you may or may not have noticed. Alright, so let's talk favorite doom metal band. For me, it's gotta be High on Fire, 100%. I love those guys. I think their singer's a nut. They're three-piece, guitar, bass, drums, that's all they got. Their guitarist is their singer, and boy, he just beats the crap out of his guitar. I think he plays maybe 13, 14 gauge strings. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that, that's a little heavier than your average acoustic guitar, and we all know how tough those can be to play. And he also has this action, which is how high the strings are off the fretboard, probably almost a good inch away, which is ridiculous if you don't know anything about guitar. That's a long, long distance. You have to push those strings to get them to sound, and that's pretty cool in itself. I think for the genre, the guy has a great vocal style. It's pretty harsh without being too raspy, but also, you know, add some grit and some dirt to their sound, which I think really adds to the musical aspect of it. Their drummer's also just insane. I mean, I've heard him play like punk rock influenced beats, more breakdown beats, all over the kit all the time. playing surprisingly fast for more of like a doom influenced band sometimes. But that's pretty cool too. And that's kind of a neat thing, despite the fact we have all these sub genres in metal. There really aren't that strict of rules. There are bands that will do certain things, and people will do those things because they like that band. Of course, that happens with all music. But, you know, no one's really going to stop buying your records if you suddenly do something new and crazy and different. So it's okay, and it's cool to see bands innovate like that. This has been the Uber Awesome Metal Vlog. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, stay metal.